Hey guys, I'm Lindsay Thompson, Executive Director with IPG DXTRA Health. And we're really excited to spend the next hour focusing on healthcare digital transformation, specifically with Google Analytics or GA4. So I first learned about GA4 when the experts at Resolute, our premier digital agency that's also a Google marketing platform partner, reached out and said that the current iteration of analytics, universal analytics, is going to be sunset. And up to 80% of the healthcare market is going to lose access to that historical data. And so that's something that we all hold very precious. It's core and central to what we do in personalized marketing in the healthcare space. And so, in speaking with the folks at Resolute, I learned not only is it imperative that we learn about and migrate to GA4, but it's also about making GA4 work hardest for us. So not just preserving the data, but understanding the advantages that GA4 really has in a cookieless landscape. Everything from personalization to enhanced targeting, next level data privacy. So with us are two experts from Resolute, Amanda and Milan, and a special guest from Google, who will all introduce themselves. But the point is really to have this be an interactive session. There's a Q&A feature. We are recording this for future marketing and also to pass on to a number of clients and companies that have requested the learnings but couldn't make it live. So just to let you all know, we want this to be a robust discussion and look forward to diving in and learning more about how to up-level our analytics.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Lindsay. Hello, everyone. We're so excited to be with you. I'll kick this off by introducing myself. I'm Amanda St. Clair, EVP and Head of Solutions and MarTech at Resolute Digital. In the same way that I am a nerd by day, solving our clients' hardest digital technology and data challenges, I'm also a solutioner by night. I love to solution holidays for my 3-year-old toddler, from decorations to just every bit of excitement about those holidays, from birthdays and beyond. So I really love that. You'll see that we're going to share a little fun fact for each of us, and I'll kick it over to Milan. But thank you so much for being with us.
Hello, everyone. I'm Milan. I spent the last 2 decades helping brands achieve marketing transformation with data. I've had the pleasure of partnering with a long roster of healthcare brands, and I always have a keen eye of bringing over my best learned practices from other industries. My fun fact, I love anything with dark chocolate.
Hey everybody, my name's Derek, and I'm an advertising solutions architect here at Google, located in San Francisco. For the past 4 years or so, I've been kind of focusing on empowering our agency partners to deliver better service than Google through our partnership and various technical and product expertise upskillings. While I'm not working today, helping our customers expand on display and measurement capabilities, you'll find me leading a lot of our Google Golf Bay Area chapter activities. So hosting monthly events and tournaments for Googlers, friends, and family. So overall, fun time and excited to be here.
All right, Milan's going to go ahead and kick us off here with a GA4 overview and a little bit about why Google Analytics.
Why use Google Analytics in the first place? Google Analytics is a vital part of every healthcare marketer's toolkit. Marketers need visibility throughout the digital journey. And the great news is that GA is used by 4 out of 5 healthcare brands, specifically because it was built to illuminate the full customer journey from top to bottom. So as you can see from this in this funnel over here on the left, it illuminates, which marketing channels worked, how frictionless was a site experience, what is the customer lifetime value of time over time. And as you see on the right here, ultimately this enables a marketer to be able to fine-tune all of these different ingredients for different audiences, everything from which channel to which audience to which landing page and which form experience. Google Analytics 3, also known as Universal Analytics, was built 10 years ago for a much simpler era of measurement landscape. The last 8 years have seen a ramp up in complexity. On the one hand, you've seen more and more browsers deprecating third-party cookies. And then side by side with that, you've also seen privacy legislation dialing up. And meanwhile, we've seen more and more consumers using multiple devices for their journeys. So altogether, now that that healthcare challenge of being able to identify that same oncology physician across multiple sessions, multiple devices, has got much harder, and it's going to get even harder in 2024 when Chrome, which represents 65% of browser market share, is going to become the next major browser, which also deprecates cookies.
All right. And as you all know by now, the UA sunset date for all standard properties, all the non-360 ones, is definitely looming on the horizon. So actually, maybe more like the fourth cloud in the sky. It's coming a lot faster than you think. So on July 1st, standard properties will stop processing new hits, and users will still retain read-only access for the next 12 months. And in next year, July 1st, 2024, GA360 properties will stop processing new hits, and all historical UA data will no longer be available. So definitely now is the time to lay the groundwork for your future measurement strategy with GA4. Don't let a hiccup in data collection, or even worse, permanent data losses kind of hamper your measurement experience.
And before we move on to a little bit about what GA4 was tailored for, I see that we got a question. So let's go ahead and address that. The question is, how can we save our universal analytics data? Which is a very good question. Milan, do you want to go ahead and take this one?
Yeah, so we've actually helped dozens of brands with extracting the right type of data views. So what it requires is a very top to bottom approach. And if you do nothing, the reality is that you are going to lose your historic data after July 1st, 2024. So in order to be able to help you preserve your year-in-year views, we work with you to prioritize what those main principal views are. And then we extract it out and we house it in dashboards. And also the best part of this is that we also have the ability to blend this with ongoing and future data so that you can see historic data, current data, and future data all in one view. And we work with multiple dashboard solutions. We work with Looker Studio, but also, if your tool is Tableau, we also work with that tool as well.
So we built this next generation of GA from the ground up to enable, modern marketers to be nimble, but also tactical, strategically working across our evolving measurement ecosystem in a privacy-centric and scalable way. So we've got three main pillars to kind of steer us in that right direction. First off, the kind of lead everything here is the collect and enrich first-party data in a privacy-safe way, right? We developed a flexible data infrastructure that allows cross-device and first-party data to come together to show the true customer journey. Next, we can derive powerful business insights. So with things like enhanced reporting capabilities and customizations, we're enabling businesses to better understand their performance. So AI and machine learning is the hot topic these days, but ultimately it's a very fundamental piece of our technology and can be used to kind of automate and facilitate the discovery of insights. So let us work for you and make things easier for you wherever we can. And number three, take action on your data. So, continue to activate on insights and first-party audiences across channels by leveraging a lot of the direct integrations to the Google Marketing Platform suite of products to continue to optimize your spend and increase ROI wherever you need fit.
Thank you so much, Derek. We could talk to you all day about the specifics of GA4, what's looming around the corner, to the point that Derek made, all of the benefits and amazing things and differences between GA4 and what we call GA3 or universal analytics of prior. But what we thought would be really beneficial is actually to take this into a illustrative use case scenario. So instead of just talking at you for the next however many minutes that we have left, we want to really make this an experience where you can really ground yourself in something that feels relatable and tangible to either your own company, if you're an agency partner, to the clients that you're helping and the challenges that you're solving. So we are going to start a little bit of what we hope to be a really fun exercise. I'm going to give you a little bit of a rundown of what we're doing here, and then we'll kind of put this into two parts. So again, this is an illustrative case study. This is not an existing company or client. We want this to be a lively Q&A discussion. So if this feels relatable to you, if you feel like you're going through similar challenges, or maybe you have other challenges that we're not hitting on, please type into the Q&A and we will address and or answer any questions. Or we'd love to hear additional thoughts on challenges that you're having that we can also unpack and discuss as well. As I said, there's two roundtable discussions. We're kind of cutting this into two different parts. First, I'll set up the first part in just a moment. Our focus topics are measurement trends, challenges, and GA. So let's go ahead and dive in and set the tone for this use case. This is a brand, again, illustrative brand named Luxia, launching a new product to market. It's a global life sciences company with an expansive product catalog and with multiple digital properties. Their business problem that we're trying to solve for is they want to use data to deliver market differentiation for a new prescription medication for adults with AML in a saturated segment. They have a handful or 4 business goals. They want to improve return on investment on their digital marketing, acquire and nurture high-quality physician and patient audiences, and drive personalization across those journeys, build on data privacy standards, and drive next-level competitor differentiation in leukemia product market with custom data solutions. That could include data science, dashboards, and optimizations. Now, laddering up to those business goals, which kind of, again, anything that we're talking about as far as structuring KPIs, et cetera, are always going to ladder to our business goals. We have 4 unique data goals, and this is what we're going to march these 2 roundtable discussions against. Our 4 data goals are user journey visibility, audience building, privacy engineering, and custom solution enablement. One additional thing that I want to call out here is that these were based off of, these data goals were based off of not only these business goals, but this entire exercise is based off of what we know to be true about challenges that our clients are having in the healthcare, life sciences, and pharma space. So we hope these are very relatable to some of the challenges that you're going through or that your clients are going to depending on who you are in this discussion. Let's start with number 1. First part of this, again, is the same company. You've already set up on who the actual company is. We're going to concentrate on the first 2 data goals, so user journey visibility and audience building. We'll talk a little bit about some of the specifics about what limitations there were in GA3 versus what GA4 enables and unpacks for you, and then get into a little more specifics of what we can enable as it relates to these goals. And then again, we want to welcome and open any questions that you have along the way. So hopefully that was enough unpacking of the ground rules, the situation, who we're solving for. I'm going to kick it over to Milan, who's going to talk a little bit about the limitations that were of prior GA3.
So as far as audience journey, we've seen firsthand a lot of deficiencies with universal analytics over the years. Firstly, we've been seeing, pretty much every user today looks like a new user. And that's just because universal analytics is not really equipped to be able to unify the disparate journeys. And, as we'll see in the next slides, GA4 was built with, consolidated data streams from a website app to address that. Another thing is also GA3, you're running into a wall with, the reporting. Reporting is mostly predefined. There's very limited malleability, being able to kind of customize, drill down, build filters. There's only so much you could do. Another thing is, segmentation, which is a huge thing for any analyst, is limited. You can only build segments based on the visitor or based on the session. But let's say if you're trying to figure out that patient lead form and why are folks dropping off from it, there's no way to actually build a segment specifically from folks that actually dropped off from it, or just specifically on the event of the drop off. The other thing also is the paid version is the only one which has audiences that you can share with Google Marketing Cloud. And then also there's no pre-built audiences. So in other words, if you want to see, audiences which are most likely to convert in the next 30 days, that's not something that GA3 has. And then also, as far as data collection, there's some known capabilities over there which are missing. You're only able to capture limited scale and flexibility.
Thanks, Milan. So in terms of the GA4 capabilities, let's dive a little bit deeper into how GA4 supports user journey visibility and the audience building here. So you see 2 columns, the first column in purple for user journey and the second one with audience building in blue. So in terms of the flexible data model, with that, we're making it easier for you to kind of identify app and website data to easily gain a holistic view on user engagement, right? That doesn't stop there though. So let's kind of give you more cut data and more color on and value on your existing data by enriching with all the other like first-party sources you may have, like from a CRM, a DMP, or DSP lifecycle stage data. We've built a variety of systems to make this easy for you to supplement or enrich and aggregate inside of that. If you're looking to take it up to the next level on your data collections, feel free to utilize server-side tracking. So not only does it improve cookie durability, but also allows a more persistent, full journey and tracking across your entire site or app. Secondly, now in terms of identity stitching, our reporting identity now combines 4 user identity spaces. So you've got the user ID, Google Signals, device ID, and even the modeled data that we create for you and join for you. So not only that, but along with enhanced conversions and our machine learning models. So you have plenty of data sources to play with. In this case, it's kind of like an identity salad, but we've got a variety of flavors here for all types of people and all types of use cases. And last but not least here, we've got data-driven attribution. Is kind of like our foundation these days, right? Data kind of powers a lot of the world. But in this case, we're now offering a wide variety of attribution models, from cross-channel linear models to AI data-driven models. And each can be changed on the fly and applied to both historic and future data. So flexibility, again, is key there to help you be nimble. Now, in terms of the audio, go ahead, Amanda.
Oh, I'm sorry. No, keep going. We'll finish this one and then we'll address a couple of questions that have come in.
Sure. Now, on the audience building front, there's a couple ways we're going about that. So, precision targeting or, more elaborate targeting or granular targeting is our goal here, right? There's a new multitude of ways to kind of identify and activate these audiences, not only from high value to low value audiences, but also even lookalike ones. Take advantage of some of our newer features like audience triggers, which we'll explore a bit later, but even the machine learning based predictive audiences to definitely streamline things like retargeting, like make us help you do the hard work. In terms of accelerating audience optimization through features like audience triggers, we can use this feature to identify events that accompany new visitors or by joining specific audience groups to continuously fine-tune a lot of those audience definitions. And finally, connectivity is key here, right? If it's essentially going to be like an audience party, you can share up to 400 audiences across the Google marketing platform. So plenty for you to experiment with, but also 20 for you to get really granular over all your types of users and how you want to measure them. And also gives you the flexibility to not only activate in a way that makes sense for you and your customers as well.
All right, Milan, do we want to address a couple of the questions that have come up? How will GA4 enable differentiation between patients and physicians?
Yeah, I can run by this one. There's going to be a few ways to do this. So not only are we going to think about this from the physician funnel or even the patient funnel, there's key differences into how ways these users are going to be treated while accessing your site or your app. So not only like actual site engagement differences, maybe like login differences or form fills, like are there even key engagement deliveries, actions that can help you identify each path each user is on? But if not, combining this with your other first-party data sources, are there additional kind of methods or mechanisms you could join them to systems or fire specific type of tracking based on types of users accessing your site? Kind of using that to supplement and kind of adding more color there is probably one of the ideal ways to kind of separate the patients and physicians. Obviously, there's no one key answer for everyone here, but we do give you kind of the power to analyze your existing data, kind of understand those funnels, understand those channels where they are, and kind of find the right path for you to separate them. Whether it is by engagements, whether it is by a definition or like a custom event or a custom audience user action in some case, but there's multiple ways to do it. We'll definitely work with you, or in this case, Resolute can definitely work with you to identify the best way for those conversion goals you're looking for and how to, by separating the data between a patient and physician, what's the outcome there, and we'll be able to isolate that and streamline that for you.
And what first-party data sources we want to stitch together to be able to tell that full story, full journey story with the data that we have available. Next question, which I think is the last question as of now, how will GA4 help me identify if a channel is performing? Milan, I'll kick this one over to you.
That's a great question. It's something that I think about a lot. And, I think as a marketer, you're always thinking about how do you really identify the contenders versus the pretenders. And, as we've seen firsthand, the previous versions of GA gave us some options. You had first touch, last touch. None of them were particularly great. So we're always working with, what are the deficiencies? What are the trade-offs? The great news is, as we see machine learning making its way into every component of GA4, attribution is definitely one of those. And now they've actually introduced data-driven attribution, DDA. So what is DDA? DDA is built on Theta algorithm. And what it does is it takes into factor the time between the click and the conversion, the format type, other query signals. It's adjusted retroactively over time and is configured specifically for every industry, and it's tailored over time. So that's something that we're actively utilizing for our clients right now. And also worth calling out also is, if you're looking for something even more bespoke, we also are using Ads Data Hub, which helps you also see reach and frequency. And we also work inside the IPG network and a lot of innovative solutions. A lot of them, no surprise, are also very focused on attribution. We have one called AMA, which customizes and builds a very ground up, fully tailored solution. So if you're interested in that, we'd love to chat with you more about that.
Yeah, continuing this along on the patient journey itself.
Yeah, so next slide over here. So as you can see, and as Derek eloquently put it, I think what you have over here is really identity salad. Previously with universal analytics, you're coming short. How do you recognize that physician across the journeys? You had device ID. In other words, is it the same person who is coming in from from one device to another? Now you're able to embed that also with, are they authenticated in? Are we able to do some kind of matching, whether it's deterministic or probabilistic? And then another really big value component that Google brings is signals. Google knows that there's a great majority of folks who are either using Chrome browser. We had talked earlier about 65%, so massive reach. And then also, are they also using Android? So if yes, and if you're signed up for personalization with your ads, then there's Google Signals, which also fills in some of the gaps. And then lastly, if there are some brands which are capturing just pieces of these, it actually bolsters this with machine learning. In other words, filling in the gaps. Built into the UI, you can actually see, with audience building, there's multiple things that you could do. One is that you can identify and manufacture new audiences. So if you think about segmentation, now you could do the same thing with audiences. And the best part is now you could do this with a free version as well. You can build new audiences. If there's audiences that work particularly good, you can build lookalike audiences. And then also, if there are audiences which have already converted with that lead form of yours, then you can also suppress it to try and improve your marketing efficiency. And I think one of the standout components over here is trigger events. Trigger events helps you fine-tune those audiences over time. So you can actually identify those signals before they become, the high-value audience category. And over time, you can really be able to finesse that audience definition. And then ultimately over here, as Derek was talking about, a big part of this is then being able to connect it to Google Marketing Cloud. So as you build those audiences, you can dynamically bring in a lot of audiences into, let's say, Google Ads or DV360. And you could do it at scale. You could do it, 400 audiences for the paid version. I think it's 100 audiences for the free version.
All right. We've made it halfway through roundtable discussion. The questions coming in have been really awesome, so please keep them coming. Obviously, we, in the last discussion, unpacked our first data goals from our use case that we're talking about, Luxia. Hopefully everyone remembers, again, that this is a global life sciences company expanding their product catalog, and with multiple digital properties, they really are trying to deliver market differentiation for adults with AML in a saturated segment. Again, we identified a number of different business goals that we talked about earlier. In the last roundtable, we really concentrated on what you can do now with GA4 as it relates to user journey visibility, stitching audience level data together, audience building. We're now going to get into some of the even more prevalent questions that come up, and that is privacy engineering, especially on highly regulated industries such as healthcare, along with custom solution enablement. So this roundtable section is really going to concentrate on those two data goals, and we'll go through a similar type of framework for each of these. So again, don't hesitate to ask. Go ahead and click on Q&A and type in any questions that you're thinking as we go along. But let's go ahead and start with some of the limitations of GA3 that Milan is going to talk us through, and what GA4 is solving for that maybe Universal Analytics wasn't doing before.
We're seeing, very known deficiencies with Universal Analytics. So, as we've seen, especially in Europe, IP addresses, being able to obfuscate that's a really big deal, especially for healthcare. That's not possible in Universal Analytics. It's automatically captured. What that means is that somebody could technically be very, very clearly identified in a smaller town or smaller locale. Also, if you're trying to, really micromanage the data and really be able to delete it and precision delete it, that's not possible in Universal Analytics. And then the second part of it over here is that there's only so much you could do with the extraction of the data. Ultimately, especially with healthcare, we're seeing that, there's a great demand for being able to extract that data out into BigQuery and being able to do a lot of, high value models. And, first, you can only do that with the paid version. And then secondly, there's very little capacity with GA3 for doing that.
All right, great. So continuing with the kind of next sections on the GA4 capabilities here we're going to be focusing on privacy engineering and custom solutions. So in this case, on the privacy side, we've essentially created a variety of mechanisms to enable you to engineer kind of your own custom privacy journey based on location, based on region, based on, regulations that are coming or may be coming in the future. So features like server-side tagging and consent mode are going to assist with facilitating data capture. Advanced PII controls and anonymized IP addresses, and the ability to deactivate Google signals as a whole helps to facilitate with data collection. And last but not least, increased data retention abilities and redaction controls to facilitate a lot of the data management that you're going to be doing on behalf of your customers. Now, in terms of custom solutions, this is the part where it gets a bit more fun and exciting, right? We want to enable you to do the best you can on this front here, right? Some ways we're hoping to spark innovation is through the flexibility of these new custom reporting capabilities that we've built in there. So not only can you make your own reporting templates with some of the freeform features by dragging and dropping, but even expanding analysis with funnel and various path explorations. So kind of like the key question we had earlier about physicians versus patients, like these funnel exploration reports are going to be key to kind of identify what's happening across that user engagement there. Now, in terms of, maybe you have wanted to take this chance. This is your chance to kind of create your own machine learning models or create dashboards. Take advantage of the BigQuery integration that we offer to both GA4 standard as well as 360 users. Previously, a lot of these advanced features like this were mainly to 360, but now we're kind of leveling the playing field and giving everybody the chance to export your data and, do some advanced analysis or advanced optimizations as you kind of see fit or want to explore. Now, at the end of the day, scale is what counts. So we've definitely increased our data collection caps to make sure that, we're not limiting your ability to analyze and create. The limitations should be other things, but we want to give you the potential to maybe do the best with those, with what you have available, especially in today's privacy journey.
Awesome. And Derek, we're going to pause for just a second. We did get one very, very good question. What is BigQuery?
Yeah, totally. For those who aren't familiar, BigQuery is Google Cloud Platform's, cloud data warehouse for storing and analyzing data at scale. So much like you used to have your SQL databases before, that's kind of like our version of that. AWS has their own version, Redis and all the other ones are similar like features where you're going to be, analyzing data and processing it at the scale as well too. So it's kind of our recommended solution as it ties into a lot of our existing products and features. But it's kind of the first place we start to recommend. So if you want to start building, LTV models or running various machine learning models on propensity models, that's an easy way to kind of start analyzing your data at scale. But also a great room for you to join in your other first-party data sources. So that's kind of the key place we can have you to do that in that environment. From there, you can export it to whatever dashboards you want to into other various systems. But essentially, a nice place for you to have the opportunity to do all that. So hopefully that answers and clears up what BigQuery is or what you can do with it.
Awesome. Thanks, Derek. That's the last question for now, so we'll keep going on patient lifetime value.
There's so much to be excited about as far as use cases for being able to extract that data, doing a lot of gymnastics with the data to get you to where you need. And the great thing is, Google BigQuery has no scale limits. You can do this in massive quantities. One thing that we continue to see our clients need is being able to assess the lifetime value of different customers over time. And that's where BigQuery is really useful, because once you get the data in there, you could do a lot of enrichment. If you have a CRM system, if you have Marketo, any patient portals, we actively help you bring in that data to kind of enrich that patient profile, of course, in a privacy-friendly way. And then the next slide over here really identifies another accompanying question, which is, how do you really identify those key personas or key audiences, which you can ultimately target and personalize to? And the middle piece over here really speaks to how we technically see it. So typically we do something like k-means clustering, where you start to identify common traits between different audiences. And if it's something which is statistically significant, we can move forward and say that these are similar audiences, therefore we can personalize them similarly. So as we saw in summary, so very notable deficiencies of GA3, as we think about the four main use cases for healthcare, user journey visibility, we're seeing a much more myopic picture of the audience. Audience building, there's limited capabilities of being able to actionize on those insights. Privacy engineering, you're definitely leaving some risk over there, because you're not able to really micromanage the data. IP addresses collected, which is not ideal. And then as far as being able to extract that data for modeling, there is limitations over there, not as much flexibility. And then as we look at the next slide, GA4 is really tailor-built for all these use cases. With user journey visibility, you have 4 active identity spaces working together. So where with other analytics tools you are in this landscape losing a lot of your visibility, here you're actually ending up with a better picture than before. And then also with audience building, there's pretty much no limits to being able to identify cases. So as we look at this case for Luxia, you're trying to target towards leukemia patients, oncologists by journey stage. So you could definitely look at that. And then as far as privacy engineering, we have robust controls, privacy engineering. As Derek mentioned, server-side. Server-side is actually a very I think it's an underrated mechanism. And for folks who are not familiar with what server-side is, it means that the data is not really intercepted through the browser. It's basically captured on the back end through Google Marketing Cloud, and then sent through remote arena to other tools. So as a healthcare brand, this is much less risky, because now you're not sending any data through the browsers. And then finally, with custom solution enablement, you're able to extract the data at high scale, be able to customize those models, and really be able to drive differentiation on an ongoing basis.
Awesome. Thank you, Milan and Derek. We unpacked a lot of information as it relates to that illustrative use case. Obviously, we got a number of great questions, so thank you for a lively roundtable discussion. Now, we would do you a massive disservice if we shared all of this lucrative information and didn't tell you how you can take action and ready yourself as it relates to GA4 and get to that upper edge in your marketing and comms effort forward. We also would be doing you a disservice if we kept this purely illustrative to non-existent companies or individuals who are dealing with these challenges. So we thought we'd bring in just a quick overview of one of the clients that we've helped. This is our Vertex client. They came to us with some desire to solve for some notable insight blind spots that they had in both quality and depth that were limiting some of their optimization. They also were going through a really unique time in that they were reestablishing, redesigning their entire corporate websites globally. So a number of different individual sites that they were redesigning, redeveloping, and redeploying. So it was really a good time to not only re-examine some of their tagging and implementation, but importantly, their holistic measurement strategy across all of these different sites, all of the other channels and efforts that they were doing. We engineered a top-down GA4 implementation, custom tailored to facilitate the experience optimization and ramp up those privacy standards. So just unpacking quickly some of the challenges. Again, they had a very fragmented view of the patient journey, very similar to what we unpacked for Lexia in the prior slides. Our solution within GA4 is that it provides predictive machine learning to fill in those data gaps. Again, making sure that we're providing a fuller journey cross-device visibility for Vertex across their different sites, touch points, etc. Secondly, there were deep data insights that were not always easily assimilated or stitched together. GA4 really unpacks some custom UI reports for them. We provided some staff augmentation and support. They have a wonderful internal analytics team that was already working hard at doing GA4 migration and setup across a number of their other properties. We really came in as a good partner and said, not only to our direct clients in comms, how can we help, but to the analytics team. You know, we can really come in and flex in any capacity to really help this process move forward. And then also provide a lot of training and customization opportunities as well, which we did throughout that process. Last but not least, there were some data privacy engineering gaps. So with GA4 privacy engineering, there's a limited data retention period. There's IP anonymization. We did disable Google signals. Again, some of these elements that can really take it to the next level as it relates to protecting user privacy. So net, we are a handful of months or a few months since that implementation. We're seeing a fuller journey cross-device. We're seeing far quicker speed to insights and optimizations as a result, and also anomaly detection as well. This is just one of a number of clients that we've continued to help, not only on the GA4 front, but in our decade-plus long Google partnership in helping to solve a number of unique measurement opportunities for our clients. As far as what this implementation looks like, just to give you a little bit of rundown of our process at Resolute Digital, typically this process takes about 2 to 4 months, and we take a very top-down approach. We don't just come to you and say, what are you measuring now? Let's do a complete replicate of that forward. We really want to make sure that we're thinking about the strategic integrations, core measurement that we're trying to get a hold of, and the intelligence that we want to derive at every stage from discovery through delivery. So really setting up those use cases, defining the appropriate measurement framework, matching where you want to go forward with where you've gone back. So any of the GA3 historical reporting needs, and additionally how we back up again data for historical comparisons as we move you into GA4. We make sure there's a strategic roadmap of where we're going, that we're architecting solutions around that roadmap, really thinking about the data pipeline, the data sources, other channels that we're really wanting to concentrate on that will tell that full funnel, full journey story. We do integration and enrichment with the Google Marketing Cloud and other systems, whether that be your CRM system, CDPs, etc. All of the nitty-gritty data onboarding, tag rebuilding, data layer development, etc. And again, making sure that as we're putting this out or going through the delivery process, that we're continuing to do learning agendas and training for internal folks that are going to be utilizing this data. Maybe it's UI reporting that we need to go into or what have you. And that we're always thinking not only about ensuring that you're getting visibility to the right data, but how can we make this data meaningful for you from a reporting and visualization standpoint? We have tried and true reporting solutions and dashboard solutions that really take into account all of your owned and earned and paid efforts and give you a visibility and a way to really measure and report and derive insights far more quickly from all of the data that GA4 is enabling you to pull forth to fruition. A little bit more about Resolute Digital. Again, this conversation is far more about you and illustrating what GA4 is all about and what it can enable for you. But we really do recommend a tried and true partner to help you navigate your journey as it relates to GA4 migration and beyond. We are a part of the Interpublic Group family, and we hold a very distinguished status as one of the original Google Analytics sales partners dating back to 2009, not to age ourselves. We bring award-winning domain expertise in paid media, cross-channel analytics and optimization, SEO, design and development. Not only do we have extensive capabilities on the analytics and measurement front within Resolute Digital, we also have a beautiful extension within IPG where we can pull in our global analytics teams and partners to complement GA4 data with innovative data engineering solutions, data science and modeling, and really deliver data-informed, omni-channel, customer-informed experiences and customer-focused experiences. Again, mentioning the 2009 thing, obviously this illustrates for you the extensive amount of experience that we have. We have 100+ individual certifications across the GMP and Google Cloud, and we've done over 100+ complex Google Analytics implementations. Not to mention, beyond all of that information, we like to believe that we're just a fun-loving group of data nerds, as I've said before, that really want to bring the best to fruition that we possibly can. And to that point, we are uniquely positioned to deliver high-value GA4 tech services. We are not your run-of-the-mill come to us to do implementation. While we do have very extensive implementation capabilities that I unpacked a couple of slides ago, we also have highly mature business intelligence systems to showcase, as I mentioned, paid, owned, and earned channel and full journey performance stories. We bring a hypothesis-driven approach to our optimization efforts and really feed an ongoing learning process and agenda. Being a Google Analytics sales partner, we can also provide licensing support as well. All of this to say that we're really driving a lot of high value with GA4 because we're really rooted in high fidelity tracking. So we're really tailoring each brand's unique measurement strategy, customer journey, and priority business needs with how we're going to then activate that data. Driving impact through enabling precision audience targeting, business intelligence, and experience optimization, and really providing that holistic strategic partnership and impact. I do see, as we pause for a moment, that we have a couple of questions. A really great one first that I can go ahead and address. What are the benefits of the paid GA4 version and how can we get it? The primary benefits of the premium version or 360 is the guaranteed reliability with the 360 service level agreements or SLAs, and elevated customer support of all the features such as collection, reporting, processing, attribution, and especially those BigQuery daily exports. As licensed sales partners, we can help you procure licenses on behalf of Google and or help understand the level that you or your organization is and help you work through that process. So if in addition to any licensing support that you may need, which we can also provide any consultation and address any additional questions that you may have around feature comparisons in more detail between standard and 360. I don't know if there's anything to add to that one before we move on to the next question.
Yeah, there are a couple of other ones. So one is, if you go with the free version, you only get a historic look back window of 14 months. If you go with the paid version, you get 50 months. So quite a big difference there. Another great thing is also in the previous iteration of Google Analytics, it was very binary. You either had the free version or the paid version. The good thing over here is that with GA4, there's actually different packages. So even if you are a medium-sized brand, there should be the right package for you out there. So we would love to chat with you about that.
Awesome. And our second question I see in our queue, what type of healthy variance should brands see between Universal Analytics and GA4?
That's a great question.
Milan, if you want to start that one, or Derek, if you want to tackle.
Yeah, sure. So we have a very rigorous process, as Amanda outlined, with our build. So one thing we take very seriously is, making sure that the actual data is flowing through the right way, the right veracity, the right volume, is it accurate? So we do a very, very scrutinous regression testing once it goes live. Another thing is also, as we work with you on GA4, we work closely to identify parity with your existing tool to make sure that, the GTM triggers, for example, the architecture is very much the same. It's retained the same way. Of course, as you see across any existing tool, like whenever you migrate between any two tools, you're going to see some healthy variance. In general, we're seeing the healthy variance is around 10%. And most of the change is in the session metric. And that's coming for good reason, because in universal analytics, the session was reset anytime a user came back after a session timeout. Or if you examine a situation where someone came in from organic search, and then they returned within the same 30 minutes through paid search, that was retallied as a brand new session. So GA4 does not do a session start whenever a person re-enters. Also, sessions are not restarted at midnight or when the new campaign parameters are counted. So with GA4, there's going to be some healthy variance, but it's also going to tell a much more accurate story of your marketing channel efficiencies.
Awesome. Thanks, Milan, and apologies if I cut out there for a moment. Any other questions right now? I think that was all of them for now. Keep them coming if you think of them. We've now reached the final slide of the agenda, so thanks for sticking through. Just to give you a quick recap and summary, since we've talked about a number of different things, hopefully what you're taking away from today is universal analytics, or what we've been calling GA3, will stop processing data on July 1st, 2023 for standard users. If you're already a 360 user, you will get a 12-month extension, and you may have already been communicated that by Google or if you have an existing partner. Again, as a reminder of what GA4 empowers and a lot of what we discussed today, it's really empowering that fuller journey in marketing performance tracking amidst a more complex measurement landscape, offering far more dynamic audience building capabilities, more robust privacy engineering opportunities, and more powerful custom data solutions. Again, we at Resolute Digital, we're so thankful to have had you here with us today. We're a fully certified team with learned best practices from your industry, other industries, proprietary best practices directly from our partnership with Google, and our own established learnings and processing from a lot of different clients that we've had the pleasure of working with and continue to work with. And GA4 migration and GA3 data preservation is really going to require a top-down strategic approach, and delaying this creates massive opportunity cost, as we talked about. So the sooner that you take action, and the more you concentrate on working with a partner in a very strategic process as you go through this, the better off you're going to be in not having any interruption to your data and having more robust visibility to the metrics that you want to see forward. We have a lot more information that you can find through the links that you see on this slide. You can reach out to us at hello@resolute.com at any time. We're happy to address your questions. We also have an ongoing email program that gives you the latest and greatest updates about GA4, what's to come, some of what we're enabling, videos like top 10 questions about GA4, and a lot of other fun information. So continue to follow along if you're interested. And without further ado, I'm going to open it up if there's any questions or anything else that's top of mind before we close out today. We've got a few minutes left before our session ends. I feel like I want the Jeopardy music here, but I don't see any questions coming through. Really thankful for the questions that have come through thus far. On behalf of all of your panelists, we just want to thank you again for joining us. We look forward to talking with you further, and don't hesitate to reach out to us if you need any support on your journey forward, have any further questions coming out of today. We also will make this presentation available to those who joined as well. So we hope to talk with you all soon. Have a great rest of your day, and thanks again.